науково-педагогічного стажування. Олександра Іванівна вже третю локацію змінює. І це зрозуміло, оскільки дуже складна ситуація по всій країні зі світлом, з інтернетом. Відповідно, щиро ми дякуємо польським колегам, які в цю складну хвилину нас підтримують. Як бачимо, можуть зараз вийти онлайн, але ми, як ви бачите, робимо запис показники. Музикознавства та культурології. Сьогодні у нас приймає естафету польська сторона, і відповідно з нами буде працювати вже всім знайомий нам спікер Joanna Skiba, завідувач кафедри іноземних мов, керівник міжнародного офісу Куявського університету у Владславику, експерт в галузі освіти та електронного навчання для дорослих. Місто Владславик, Республіка Польща. Тема лекції креативна
Good afternoon. I hope that you can hear me okay. Yes, is it okay? Can you hear me? Yes, because I think there is some connection maybe breaking, but if there is a problem, just you can write it on the chat, or just so that I know if I should change something. Well, anyway. The topic for today, for today's meeting of our internship is creative teaching and creative learning, which is a very broad topic, the topic which has many notions, spheres. We can all relate to it somehow as teachers, because we are, I can say, sailing the same boat, because we are all in the teaching business at the academic level, at university level. We have been through the pandemic, and this has taught us a lot. This has given us a lot of lessons, and those lessons we have, I think, are very fruitful now for us to grow on, because as we remember the beginning of March 2020, we all were in a way shocked, and in a way we had to move and switch very quickly from regular work to online work. And I think this aspect made us and created us strong teachers, powerful teachers, and also gave us a lot of new tools that I think we even were not expecting in many times. For the very beginning of today's meeting, I would like to start with 5 short questions to you. You can, if you wish, you can write the answers in the chat box. My first question is it easy to be creative in education? Yes or no? You can just answer to yourself, of course. Think about yourselves and your job working as academic teachers in the pandemic. Do you think you have become creative under pandemic? Yes or no? And do you think there are clear benefits of online education? And a very straightforward question. Are you a creative teacher? What do you think? And the final aspect for today, do you have creative learners? Which sometimes even impossible to judge. Well, I think I would like to cover some of those areas, giving you a broad introduction to the problem and the problem that we have had in the recent 2 years. And then I would like to focus on some very practical aspects of education. And for today, I would like to concentrate on creative education, creative teaching and learning within online learning, because it's the strongest aspect that we have covered in the recent months. And I think we have, in a way, mastered this education, and also we can see the advantages and the advantages of online system of education. So the COVID-19 pandemic has affected our educational systems. The schools were closed for universities and colleges. There were estimates that about 800 million students or learners simultaneously globally had to learn online, and they were affected at the same time. So classes moved online, exams, many of them were simply cancelled. It also influenced many economic aspects, also students' life, home security, access to healthcare, access to childcare, and the internet. These were all factors that were consequently disrupted. And that has become the model that we have adopted. Luckily, we had the technology that enabled us at the university level, at colleges and all other levels of education to switch almost automatically to a system which, given in multiple formats, guaranteed that we continue our educational world. And that was not an easy task, as we all remember. They were very difficult circumstances, because the system is never perfect, and we know very well from our experiences that the online system is not perfect. We can say that those disadvantaged students became even more disadvantaged, because they had to make up for the loss, they had to make up for the time, for the situation. But anyway, millions of them were continuing to learn because they simply wanted to, or simply they just had to. Which I think within the last 2 years, we have observed the excellent benefits of distance learning and distance education, as it has proved to be less expensive to support, because it could be done from any place globally. So it was not in any way limited to geography. You didn't have to go to the United States to attend some university courses offered by American universities if you wanted to. And there was a whole range of free courses and tutorials which you could join. So that, I think, was a big plus. We have never before had observed this amount of online free education. Of course, as within anything which is offered free and just easily available, you could see quite a lot of educational rubbish. So that is, I think, our task as teachers, providers of education at some higher level, because we are all at the university or college level. This is our task to do the make choices, to use, as I say, we use a sieve, like in the kitchen, that we choose and pick what really has value and can be used further on. I have done that for many of my colleagues at the university. So I have picked good language courses, because in March and April 2020, there were many big companies in Poland which offered free language education. And it was my task first to test it, and then to offer it to our lecturers at university. And those courses were offered usually for 1 year. Many of our teachers successfully completed them, so even completed them with certificates. So I think there are many aspects which, which were positive in this. Looking into distance online education, we need to make some divisions, and we need to name the options available to teachers and to our pupils, our students. The first choice, which I usually make, is that this education is either synchronous or asynchronous. If this education is offered in the synchronous manner, this means it happens at the same time. So our teachers and students attend the courses and available classes together at the same time. So this is like a real-time class, which is offered online. And we can, it requires live communication. It requires stable and good technology, which does not break in the time in the course. And this somehow deprives of the freedom, because this is related to here and now. It is also related to a schedule, and the students have to follow the schedule like a regular routine they are offered. I would rather concentrate on the second option, so the asynchronous distance education. The asynchronous means that this can be offered it is offered online, of course, but the student himself or herself decides when he or she wants to access it. And I think it's better for mature learners, as our learners are like over 17, 18. So they can focus on work when they want to, and they can focus on the tasks when they feel the time is appropriate for them. So the asynchronous method we have used at our university for many courses. And I'm also the head of the language department. So I've been responsible for offering students the best system, and we have used two. One is called Learny, and Learny is a system designed by a Polish company from Wrocław, and it offers courses in 5 foreign languages, and this is completely asynchronous. The students just join the classes when they want to. And this is, it gives the teachers the freedom, because the program is designed by specialists for the students. And another is called e-tutor, and e-tutor is also designed in Poland, and it has the same system. It's even it has more resources, and it has some better options for studies. So I have tested these two, Learning and eTutor, and I would say, why should we discover something if it has already been done? So we also have to admit sometimes that there are experts on the educational market who even know better and even have worked harder, and they have worked in teams of specialists, and we can just easily use those resources. If you would like to test some of them, the first one which I mentioned, this is called Learning, and it offers education in English, business English, German, French, Spanish, I think those, and Italian. If you would like to test it, just let me know, and I can send you the access link, which is free, and you can use it at home or on your mobile phone or on your computer, on your laptop. So I will be happy to share it with my Ukrainian colleagues. Just let me know if you want to test it. So it's fully interactive. It is asynchronous, which means it can be offered to learn and study at your convenience. So it's really, I think it has the right features that the learners and teachers are looking for. Talking about the aspects of online education, we know that we all have created something like an online learning community. I think we are the best example on this. I've been meeting you here for, I think, since May 2020. I think that was the first online lecture, which was really a bit shocking, and it was like complete novelty for most of us. And it was, I think, the best example, and we still continue. We still continue, and I think we are growing in that. So I think, yes, we can say that we have been successful in that aspect. Talking about more practical areas, how to be successful in this type of education, how to be creative. I think we have to try to be resourceful. Somehow, as we say, we leave the comfort zone because we show something which is not usual to us. Of course, if I'm given the choice of teaching online or face-to-face, I choose face-to-face. I choose the contact education. That was like this spring, I was offered to teach a business English course to my students at the MBA program at our university. And they just, at the beginning, they asked, will it be an online program of English, of business English, or will it be contact, like face-to-face? And I knew that they were students from our city. So I told them that my decision is to make it face-to-face because they can come, they can meet, and they can attend the classes, which for language education, I feel it may be better, but it's not usually the best, but it's somehow the way that I have chosen and followed. So, well, concentrating on online education, I guess we need to somehow leave, as I said, leave the comfort zone because we work on some other levels. We talk to the computer. Sometimes the students may hide, we can just, as teachers, only imagine if they are following us, if they are listening to us, or if they are somehow watching television at the same time. So it may not be comfortable, but we have to trust that there is this 1, 2, or 3 at the back of the screen who are really with us and who are following. So we can use a lot of materials, like we can have presentations. We can email our students with different types of homework. We can easily use our mobile phones, and the mobile phones have everything now. Sometimes when I leave my office and I work from another city or I travel quite a lot, my whole office is in my mobile phone. So I can send all the emails, I can contact my colleagues, I can check the important information, I can connect on Zoom, and everything is in it. So my mobile phone is my whole office. So we can take pictures with our phones. We can use PDF format and work online on that. We can working on tablets, on notebooks, as most students do, or maybe they just use the mobiles, but some of them also use tablets. They just need the internet access. So the Wi-Fi spots are usually provided in many areas, and we can work through the FaceTime, through Zoom, and also my Teams. Which are the most popular in your country? Is it Zoom as number one, or there's something else which is like a platform for online contacts? Zoom or something else? In Poland, I think it's Zoom. It's also Teams. Teams is for many universities and schools. The main benefit of those programs is the flexibility. So we choose the place, and we can learn together with our colleagues, and we can meet. So sometimes we feel that the system may be unjust for some of the students. Some of our students may not have the right equipment. They may not have the quiet place to learn, and the provision of access to technology is not even in many countries. Or I think it is changing in Poland. Over the last 2 years, many companies provided quite a lot of opportunities to students and teachers to have access to the right technology. There was quite a lot of support from the municipalities, from the state, from many European programs. So the technology is there. Technology is easily accessible. But as we know, that especially the older generation may not be so easily adaptive to technology. So many companies provide constant tutorials during which we can learn how to operate the programs and how to become more like a digital nomad or a digital native, as we say, because we know it comes with age. When I look at younger students and younger generations, it's easy for them to follow, to be the real creative learner, because they know how to operate technology, and they are the real consumers. It's also with the online education, I think it's easy to be very flexible for the deadlines, and we can allow the students to submit work at many different levels of time. Of course, the deadline means there is a given time and date, but somehow I think with the pandemic we have become more open to some bit lowering our expectations in that, and finding a way of students to getting things done rather than somehow blaming them for not doing things. So the students have been given a lot of freedom in that, and I think this is somehow out of our comfort zone, because we were more before the pandemic, we have been more like the autocrats who would create the academic environment, but with the use of technology and creative education, the students have been given a lot of freedom to select the scaffolds, to select the learning environment, and to create new academic concepts. So the students have been, in a way, empowered to own themselves this creative process. So the creative work has been done both by the teachers, by the lecturers, and also by the students. So therefore I wanted to combine in the topic of today's meeting the aspects of teaching and learning, because we have both sides become more and had to become more creative. So also the students have been engaged into not only the learning process, but also into the assessment process. So the students were offered tools to provide us with more creative feedback, because the students were not often, as they were evaluated, their work has been evaluated. It's not only the point or number or grade they were given, but somehow they were given tools for this evaluation, or sometimes even self-assessment. Some other methods concentrated on peer assessment, when the colleagues could do the work and could assess the work of others. So in a way, it was something like chasing the curiosity. So the students were given tools of this mentoring, peer-to-peer mentoring. This is the component which has also appeared during the pandemic, and it's one of the training ways and methods. What I sometimes do, even nowadays, with face-to-face education with my students, is like I give them a test, a regular test, and I give them the tools to test it, to evaluate it. And they do evaluate, but they do evaluate the peers' work, not their own. In this process of online and distance education, there have been many new institutions which appeared, which provide the identification and the development of counseling. The counseling is not only at the educational level, but also at this mental level. We've been discussing those issues many times during our lectures. But this mental health, those mental health providers have also been gaining the new capacity, and they have been important players on the educational market. So as we see, there are so many challenges with this technology. It's first of all, is complete lack of structure, because we know it's very difficult to plan the day of online education. Somehow the flexibility may be liberating because it gives so many options, but with the number of options that we have at hand, somehow we cannot create the environment that we really want to. There is also the less support for time management. Some students may have problems staying on top of their work when they are learning at home. So it's our task to somehow steer them and support them in this. And there's quite a lot of problem with refocusing, or even focusing in general on what is taught. So this is the teacher who should refocus the students on the right path. The students do not get enough sleep because they are bombarded with stimuli from every corner, and they with this heavy impact, they know that the day or night has completely no division because it's like one flow of time. Sometimes there is a situation that the teachers use long written communication, and I think this should be avoided. This is not creative at all. When we write a lot of words to our students who do not follow that, I think it's easier to meet on Zoom and to talk to them. And another negative aspect is that there is no change of scenery, that we have situations like there is looking into a monitor all the time and nothing is changing. So this is the situation which has quite a lot of disadvantages. So we see that this is like a sort of a setup of situation when this is the education of different opportunities. But I think we haven't missed this opportunity of online education. We have been quite successful in that, and we have adopted many areas of let's say social media, for example. And I would like to concentrate a bit more on that area. Social media is really very creative and allows to use it in the classroom as well. And I would like to explain how we can use it, as this is the real communication. This is communication at the speed of light, as we share unlimited number of information with unlimited number of people. And we have quite a lot of feelings and emotions now related to social media, but it is quite, it is pretty new in education, but it has quite a lot of different options to use and methods and regulations. So it has the new design, which offers the community cooperation between all the users. It is becoming bigger and bigger, and there is the emphasis on the processes, also the process of lifelong education, like adult learning. And there is also the focus on positive educational experience. And it may shape the attitude of our learners and students towards learning in general. It also equips our students and many lecturers with many practical skills. So we know that some groups of people may go faster in that, but they acquire knowledge, they acquire new technological options. So if we want to use the social media together with our students and focus on this aspect of creative education, creative learning, and creative teaching first, we should remember that there are very basic rules that we have to follow. The rule number one is privacy. So privacy means that social media is like in a way owned by nobody, but it is owned by everybody. We have to also focus on the appropriate content. So what we place there has to be in line with our job position, in line with our beliefs, with what we represent. Point number 3 is security. So security means that what we publish will also stay there, and somehow people say that if you put it on the internet, on social media, it will be there forever. So we have to be aware of this fact. This is security. And also, what are the policies of communication? So these are the rules. There are no specific rules in general, but these are the rules we need to follow to be successful on social media and in creative education. So there are many options to choose from. to start. How to start social media in education and to be successful. I think we should start with a tool that is popular with our students. From what I have learned, looking into what my colleagues use and what I use myself, is of course Facebook and the Facebook groups. So creating a Facebook group gives quite a lot of freedom. We have to, of course, decide ourselves and talk to our bosses, the management, if creating something like a virtual classroom is okay. So if we are also confident of this kind of social network, so it's easy to start like spreading information like a notice board. So when students and teachers meet and we exchange basic information, like what time the classes start, what is the content of the class, what is the homework, what are the deadlines. We can also think of creating a separate profile for our students. So if we have a profile for our reflecting our private life, I think we should reconsider it and maybe restructure it to suit any this situation. We also need to agree on some rules with our students. So we now we should decide with our students what will never be accepted on the group, and we should always, absolutely always react when somebody breaks the rules of our Facebook group. We also should remember what the privacy settings have been arranged. All confidential information has to be strictly protected, and we have to accept and agree on the type of material that is used. How to be successful in this manner, in using like Facebook groups in the classroom or social media in the classroom. We have to be clear and precise. We have to take care of our language. The language has to be correct. It has to use and concentrate on correct spelling and grammar. We have to write to the topic, and we have to write to the point. Usually when we write a message, the message should be given a title. It will be easier to find it later. We have to respect others. We have to try to express our views in a cultural way and avoid any vulgar language. When we quote somebody, we should mention that we quote the author of the text. As we represent education, we have to be professionals. So we have to respect our privacy and privacy of others. We have to keep the profile in the right order. We should remove anything which is outdated. And we know that with the internet life, things become outdated quite quickly. We have to adjust information according to the best of our knowledge. We should check the information sources, and we should try to behave in a way like that we behave in the classroom. We should introduce ourselves, be careful with the jokes, because sometimes the jokes may not be everyone's cup of tea. So some people may not share our sense of humor. We should never insult others. We should not spam others with a lot of files that we send. And we should not steal somebody else's intellectual property. We should not gossip about others, like make silly comments. We should not spread false information. And we also have to remember about the security. we should secure our account with a strong password. We should familiarize ourselves with the data protection rules, and also think carefully before posting anything on our profile. When we have some private information, we should never publish this information online, because this information may be stolen. We know that there have been many cases of the whole accounts on Facebook or Instagram that have been stolen from the owners. And if they go into the wrong hands, they may completely ruin our name, they can ruin our work, and they may have horrible results. So we should not click on anything which you feel is suspicious. As we say that we leave digital footprints, as that's what I have just said. If you put it on the internet, it will be there, and it will be there forever. So those skillful IT specialists may always trace it and find it. There is also a problem of cyberbullying, and cyberbullying is the digital aggression. It has been stated that about 10% of users have been affected by cyberbullying. Maybe this number is even higher in some areas. So it's like hate speech, for example. So we should really be avoiding this. Where to start? We can start easily with Facebook, as I said before. We can start with Facebook groups. Create a new profile, create a group for our students. We can also use Twitter. Twitter is the social networking site with the microblogging option. And so we can use short tweets to communicate information. Another source is the Instagram, where we can publish photographs to use during our classes, or even videos, and you can have quite a lot of resources that are ready for editing. Snapchat is quite popular as well. It's for sending short messages, but you have to remember that those messages disappear after a few seconds. But this is also like a communication tool. YouTube, which we all know, so it's free posting, evaluation, quite a lot of comments. So it allows to put the lessons and the films which may be retrieved later. So if you want to use and reuse information, the YouTube is a very good area to use with the students. There is also Messenger, and Messenger is for private communication. It's also for video calls, which many of us use, so you can see others face to face, and it's like the FaceTime communication. Also WhatsApp. WhatsApp is also the application that we can use as a communicator for exchanging information, but not only. It can be not only messages, it's also good for text, for photographs, or even files of text. And another platform which I myself use and like is the WordPress. The WordPress is for blogging. Maybe you know that I'm the very active blogger. It's called, my blog is called 5200, and it has been operating on WordPress. So it's a very good platform for bloggers if you are interested in that. What are the consequences of establishing those areas? I think it may create quite a lot of critical thinking, not only the technical thinking, but also critical. All those media teach communication. They help us connect. we encounter different attitudes and different situations globally. We can communicate clearly, we can listen to others, we can learn languages, we can transfer information, start many new contacts, support people, have a very positive inspiration, and also get a lot of acceptance and appreciation. So this is the support of our development, which I think is at the base or the grounds for our creativity as teachers. I would, if you ask me where to start, I would say you can start with the Facebook group to exchange information with your class, with your group, not only for communication on the deadlines, but also like creating open discussions or even have lessons on that media. So also I would say that Instagram is something that is good to use and to start with. So it has internet has quite a lot of options for being creative. And we have to be careful and concentrate if it's false information, if it's the real success that we are leading to, and if it brings the results that we want. Well, I think it's our role to support our students as we are the teachers, and we need to show them because but we are also learning in a way. There may be a question here, like as we have become so active and we may become so tired with the amount of work that we have in general, and then to create something extra, like being extra creative with social media, I would say it is worth it. It is worth to change, to offer something new, because we will be rewarded later as teachers. The negative aspects may be lower and smaller than what we can achieve by our chance and option and our hard work. I think we should maybe in the new year we should have a lecture on the recipes for tired teachers, because we know that we all feel tired as teachers, because especially like on Fridays or especially in June, when the whole time of learning is ending, and we feel that this amount of work that is somehow a very heavy burden on us, and we do not know how to fight it. Well, I think the social media can help us, because also the online education like Zoom can help us quite a lot to create something extra, something different. It opens doors for new communication, and it's in fact we have to be critical about it, but we have to articulate it that this is the challenge, but we have been part of this challenge over the last years, and we are I think we are all as teachers very successful in this. Just at the end of our meeting today, I just want to remind you again what I mentioned in the course. If you wish to have access to Learning platform, you can let me know, or you can contact my Ukrainian colleagues, and then I will send you the access codes to the Learning platform of foreign languages, so you will be able to test it and to see for yourselves this creative teaching and learning platform. Thank you very much for today. It was a real pleasure meeting you and talking to you today. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for your brilliant lectures. It was a very, very, very interesting, very, very creative and impressive for us.
Thank you very much.